The end is nearly in sight. We've got one more dungeon to do, though, and luckily, where we need to go is right here in the ocean, and it's all clean.
That's right. Yeah, you didn't get much of a clue from the tree this time, and it's like that in both Oracle games. The last dungeon, they're just like, it's somewhere, I guess?
Like, I guess the one hint you get is you got the Zora Scale, so you just need to figure out what to do with that.
Right, so it's this seemingly weird item. We've got everything we need to swim. Why would we need a scale?
And there is just this border of whirlpools. It's not quite a storm, is it?
Eh. More of a sea of inconvenience.
It's barely a sea, it's more like a lake.
Right. Ooh, you must be important.
Well, let's go out and see what's in the Sea of Storms.
It's pretty empty, except for one thing.
No longer me. Nope, it's a pirate ship.
Hey, and somehow we're on it.
And they're all dead.
The pirate theme is so good in these games.
They're all dancing to it.
Love it. It's kind of like the ghost ship from Wind Waker, where it's just floating around and you teleport into it.
It swallows you.
But it's much better than the ghost ship from Wind Waker, because it's actually got something in it.
And you're only here for a minute.
Right?
Removed his brain, he did.
Yarr. We've been here for so long. They didn't get very far from land.
And then the romance died the next morning.
Right. Huh, so apparently the Zora Scale is a sea calmer? You'd think they would have used that earlier.
All a drum. All in a drum circle.
They're gonna go join a crew.
So I guess we'll see him again in the next game.
Well, that's what he says. Ew! It's so gross.
Hey, that means he killed one of them.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. It counts.
Okay, so if it calms the seas, why did I fall into that whirlpool?
We found it on Crescent Island. Pried it right from a skull we did.
We tried like 3 of them.
Did you know they were cannibals? So he didn't say anything about it, I don't think, unless I missed it, but that's Ambi's boyfriend.
Yeah, he didn't say anything about it. That's one of the things you need a linked game to really figure out.
Right, which, since you're not doing that, I can tell people, that's Ambi's boyfriend.
Yeah.
So they have if you do a linked game and you play Seasons second, then when you meet the pirate captain again, Ambi just shows up straight out of nowhere and has this little cutscene with him.
Oh, I will be doing Seasons linked. I'm not doing this one linked.
Well, I just spoiled it then. You can fix that in post. Just bleep it out. So what are we supposed to do with this gross eyeball?
Well, right now I'm just exploring.
Yeah, the sea is this really interesting place full of just random little islands and outcroppings.
All of them moving around. This place is highly unstable.
As I said, the tectonic plates are just out of control in this area. Ooh, a ring! You've gotten a couple good rings so far.
A couple. The rings tend to be definite when you find them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you don't learn what they are until later.
Yeah, I mean, if you're really paying attention, you know what ring you're going to get if you get it out of a chest.
Well, we're back here.
One more time. Spoilers, now he's going to send us to the fairy woods.
But it's going to be the Tokay singing the theme.
Show your power, wisdom, and courage.
Well, I'm going to avoid the courage. But I'm going to be wise and use the powerful thing.
Exactly. There's no reason to be fighting these things with a sword. Conversely, you can also light them on fire, which I think you already showed off, but they turn into Stalfos if you do that.
Yep. Wait a damn minute.
So is this test supposed to be courage, or... I don't know.
It's a bit of all three columns.
Is it kind of a puzzle? Yeah, you handled the red trap, but can you handle the blue one? Only the hero could do this. Nah, don't waste time making a hole.
No, you know what? I hate these guys enough to do it.
This is just gratuitous at this point.
Worth it.
Bye, suckers.
Now this room, I'm sure there's a path. I'm not quite sure what it is. But I do sort of bumblefuck my way through it.
Yeah, you can do the trick you did earlier of dropping seeds. Nice glitch. Dropping seeds like this. But I think if you follow... There's something about the rocks. Like, if you walk towards them, that's the path.
God damn it.
Although you were close enough to the steps, if you just put the Pegasus seeds on and jumped, you might have made it.
I figured that out about here.
There we go. I guess that was courage?
Again, that was wisdom.
Power, for sure.
This is courage. McFly's afraid of water.
Can you swim? Dead end.
The Pond of Storms.
There we go.
And like that, we're already in front of the next dungeon.
Yeah, so since you don't get a clue from the tree, one thing you can do is push select on the main overworld and you get to see your map. And there's this large chunk right in the middle of the world that you haven't explored yet, so that kind of gives you a clue as to where in general this area is. And hey, Lionels!
The classic Lionels. They're not nearly as dangerous as they are in Breath of the Wild, but they do a lot of damage.
Yeah, they still kind of suck. Mainly because, if I remember, your sword hits don't really knock them back. And I'm about to be proven wrong right here. Yeah, they do. Alright, mark that down as number 3. Things I forgot. They do a lot of damage, though, and they have arrows that are on fire.
We're a little too late in the LP for you to strike out of it, but...
That's okay. I'm sure you can find someone for the last video. Once again, this is a part with some pretty cool music.
Yeah. And I've seen a lot of these weird blue... They look like statues that have just fallen over.
Yeah, I think they're supposed to be a fairy? I'm not sure. It's hard to tell. The ones in Link's Awakening were giant mastodons. Oh, welcome to this dungeon. Talk about massing a Casio keyboard. There's another one.
Yeah. The music here gets very dissonant.
They're just left-hand heavy on this keyboard. So, Ancient Tomb is pretty much a culmination of what have you learned throughout the entire game. We're gonna throw it all at you in one dungeon. And there's a lot of ghosts and Gibdos in this place.
many people have died attempting this dungeon.
They're the souls of players past. Is Ralph in here somewhere? Zombie Ralph?
He'll never die. Try as he might. For the most part, this dungeon didn't give me too much trouble. It was pretty much just this room. The owl statue tells you, use your sword against the wall. When there's a fake wall, it'll make a certain sound. A sound different from the rest of the walls. And you have to move that statue out of the way to find the correct one. That's pretty much it. The rest of the dungeon is fairly straightforward.
Yeah, it's not a maze like the last one. Don't have to deal with water levels and stuff like that. It's more just a kind of a long test of your puzzle knowledge. So, I've seen you blow yourself up enough. There's actually a ring you can get that stops you from hurting yourself. That might have been a good one to find.
I do actually find it much later, long after its importance.
Oh, nice. After you've beaten everything.
Yeah. For what it's worth, this is one of the few games with bombs where I didn't injure myself as much as I usually do.
How many different ways can you push a button?
The game takes control away from you at that moment until the doors open. They're back.
Boy, have we missed you.
And they're as long-winded a mechanic as ever. But this is the last one. This is the last proper dungeon.
Right, the last actual dungeon of the game isn't much of a dungeon.
It's pretty much just a tower you climb in like a straight spiral.
Yep.
Yeah, here, once you get that first key, you just head straight back and unlock the block.
Yeah, this dungeon's all about progressing in one direction until you can't anymore and then finding another way to go. You eventually make your way through all of it. I do kind of like the design of this dungeon. It's got some things in it that some of the other dungeons don't have. That book piece being a fixture. Also, the floor looks really cool in this dungeon.
Yeah. Feels like some of the dungeons haven't had as much color as it could have.
Mm-hmm.
Even for a Game Boy Color.
Right. You think they'd want to show it all off, but...
That is just a shortcut back from lower in the level.
Right. You're probably going to enjoy this in the next game, but Seasons has got a lot more color to it, I think.
I did notice that. I have recorded the rest of the game. It is just this part and the next part, and then the LP is done. And just looking at like screenshots of Seasons, it immediately looked more colorful.
Oh, yeah. I'm happy that you're using your sword to break pots again.
It's really fun. Those 4 pots always seem to have 2 fairies and bombs.
Got your regen room, if you need it. Yeah, there you kind of have to remember that that diamond's there. Can't quite see it.
Yeah. Generally, I kind of like this dungeon. I do practice runs of the dungeons. The rest of the LP I don't practice at all, and then maybe you might be able to notice that, but for this one, once I sort of got the idea of the path down, it's not too hard a dungeon, and you are right in that this isn't as much of a maze as the last one, and I think I like that more. It's got more of a succinct progression.
Mm-hmm. Overall, I mean, music aside, it's a pretty good dungeon to end the game on.
Yeah. The music really drones here.
Yeah, and you got a pretty good variety of enemies. A lot of them are relatively strong, at least for this game.
But I've got a good sword now.
Yeah.
This is a good point. Once you've got the turnstile moving in that direction, it's a good idea to come down, because this is the path that takes us to the dungeon item.
Oh, you're not wearing your BMOS protection ring.
Well, whatever.
That could have helped you avoid that one half a heart of damage. Yeah, your best bet is to kill the enemies first and then redo this room. If you try to kill them while you're filling it up, you're gonna screw up.
It's this puzzle's last hurrah.
At least for this game.
Comes back in seasons, huh?
Yeah, you'll see some similar puzzles. As you remember, they had to mash some of the stuff from the canceled third game into both of the others. Yeah, you have to end in that top left corner. There's no other way.
It's a little confusing because in the previous dungeons with the puzzle, the path ended in front of a space where the chest would be.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of confused me there, but I'm pretty glad I got that in the first try.
Right. And so your reward is an even stronger lifting item.
The Power Glove.
Yeah, the power is in your hands now. You can beat the wizard. Or was it the wizard? Which kid in the wizard used that glove?
I don't remember his name, but the wizard was the main character kid.
That's right.
Lucas?
Yeah, that's right.
Now, this is kind of cool. In some of the earlier dungeons, we stood on top of these colored blocks. But now we need to actually follow a path and stay on it.
Yeah, and they give you a bunch of keys to try and fuck you up, too.
It's easier than it looks. But we haven't done this. We've never tried to jump over a gap with them. I kind of like that.
See, they can introduce new puzzles in the final dungeon.
I love these guys. You are right, they are just sort of shimmying around.
Yeah. They're one of the few sprites in the game that actually don't change direction. The Gibdos are another one.
Which hand? Which hand?
I have a question. Oh.
This is really satisfying right here.
Yep. So you didn't get the item that can kill those. Just so you know, there's a minigame, a Goron minigame, actually, you can play to get the boomerang.
Well, we're fighting the Grim Reaper.
Yeah, right.
He's got 2 attacks. That first attack converts him into a skulled bat, and that's how you can attack him. His other attack, that's a main damage attack. That ball, though, basically it turns you into a baby. So apparently the Grim Reaper's baby form was a skull with wings.
Right. That's a neat little sprite that not a lot of people see, because it's kind of hard to get hit by that attack.
Yeah.
You have to purposely get hit almost. The 2 attacks are actually recycled from the wizard battle from Link to the Past, and also the shadow version of him in Link's Awakening.
But he's pretty easy.
Yeah, overall not a very difficult.
Oh, look who's back.
The wizard robes, buddy.
Now, I don't actually need to do anything with these statues, whatever they are, coffins. That's more like a hint for a later room where there are 4 of those. Basically to tell you, one of these might have something under them.
Yeah, it's a good idea to lift those any chance you get, and wow, we're not done with the puzzles.
Nope. That's the main gimmick. We gotta find 4 slates, put them in there, and that will lead to the boss.
Yeah, so we're halfway into the dungeon, and we're introduced to the actual gimmick of the dungeon.
A little weird.
Bring me the 4 tablets.
Feed my 4 mouths.
Maybe the statue's a sheik? Is there a... Maybe there was a mouth covering? I don't know. I can't tell. I don't think they do Sheikah stuff in the Game Boy games.
No. I'm kind of formulating in my head. There are more references to Majora's Mask in this one than Ocarina of Time, but then there was also an Ocarina of Time guy earlier, so it's like, I don't know.
Well, these games came out pretty close to Majora's Mask, so I think that's why they threw a lot of references in. It was fresh in people's minds. I appreciate them.
The Sheikah?
The Majora's Mask references.
Oh, okay.
It's just kind of cool. I mean, especially when you're younger and you're a kid, you're seeing these games and it's like, oh, it's from the 3D game, but it's in 2D. Isn't that cool? Why did they bring back Tingle? Even as a kid, I knew he was just annoying.
Just wrong as a person.
Just wrong, yeah. Do we remember this puzzle?
Yep. So this is amusing. You don't actually need to do it in that room.
Right.
Just unlock the block and continue on this path. Because this path will actually lead you on the other side of that room. But you gotta do the puzzle in this room. In this one, it's just a big floor of lava.
Mm-hmm.
And the door's down in the bottom right, but there's just a bunch of keys in the way. That's pretty much the only obstacle.
Yeah, and if you don't know exactly where the door is, you might go to the top right accidentally and fall in. Ancient words are written on it. It says, be sure to drink your Ovaltine. Great message.
It says B-Y-O-B.
BYOBB. The extra B is for barbecue.
Ooh.
Yes. That doesn't do as much damage as you think.
No, that should kill everything.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's the final item of the game. It should allow you to get some one-hit kills on some stuff.
Always glad to grab a fairy. Even when I'm doing pretty well, I'm losing health. Wait a damn minute. I shouldn't have to struggle to pick that up.
So heavy.
But this is the room. There's the secret. That was the signal to us. This is the room with the boss key. Remember to get here.
Yeah. Nothing sucks more than getting to the boss door and realizing you forgot the key.
That is the boss door down there, on the other side of that hole. We'll see it in a second. Like, there's a bit of a circuitous path to get back to it. That's a word I stole from highwaying.
Oh boy, good job.
Who says it a lot?
Hey, and for once in the final dungeon, we have a block pushing puzzle where you didn't have to actually circle around the block. In the final dungeon, go figure.
Now this is really silly. We've got these tiles. You go over to this corner, they can't hurt you. But then I realized, you know what, I have my shield. We should at least use it once.
Right, it is level 2. You went through all that trouble to have a Tokay polish it for 400 years. Let's use it to block 1 or 2 floor tiles.
And it was a Tokay in the past. He was very old.
That's the one who got his eye ripped out.
Poor guy. Nope.
The trap room.
You gotta watch out for that trap twice.
So the 2D Zelda games do that a lot, where there's a button or a switch that moves an entire wall. I try to think about the physics of that, and it hurts my brain a little bit.
That guy's pretty easy. This is a room with ice physics, and they give you a very wide radius, but it's only like 2 rooms with any ice in the whole game, and they're in this dungeon.
Real heroes fight him with a level 1 sword.
Well, it's about how strong the senseeds are.
Yeah, but you're not dancing on the ice. Give me this one. Oh, this room, though. Ooh.
Gonna dance on this one even less. Gonna hit as many of them from the doorway as I can.
Yeah, if you can avoid going out onto the ice, otherwise this room sucks a lot.
That got me once. Where did my hand go? Where did my hand go?
I'm finally free to shuffle. Ooh, didn't expect that one, did ya? Oh, again. Oh.
They avoid swings. They do not avoid stabs.
More bombs.
Or being shot.
You gotta have at least one mermaid section in the dungeon.
Nope, wait.
I'm gonna get you.
Damn it.
Yes!
One more owl statue. And he said something that kind of confused me first time playing.
Oh, right.
I thought that meant that every time you put one of the slates into the pedestal, a new path would open to another slate.
Right.
It's just referring to when you've got all four in.
Yeah.
You can access all these paths immediately. Now, look at this fresh hell.
Yeah, this room kind of sucks, but if you've gotten kind of good at the swimming, you'll be alright.
It's this one you gotta be careful of. There we go.
This dungeon doesn't make anything neat as a shape. The map is just kind of generic.
Just a bunch of squares. I guess thinking about it, probably looks more like a rectangular pyramid.
I could see this dungeon being a pyramid.
Which would be kind of cool, but can't really tell that from the outside. Because you can't see anything.
It's just buried really deep in the ground, and you go in the top of it.
Nope.
Yeah. Run into our fire!
There, and the path will lead us to the boss. Then it occurred to me, I still have one more chest I haven't gotten.
Yeah.
I went back and looked for it, it was just the map.
Oh, that's right, you didn't get that yet.
It's on a path that's pretty easy to get, but I think I would have to go all the way back to the entrance, so I thought, fuck it, I already have the whole dungeon mapped out anyway. Flying away, yes!
Beautiful.
How often do you kill a Keese with a bomb?
Not often enough in my book.
Or a statue.
There we go. We got our one-hit kill, yes! Even though they're Keese and everything kills them in one hit.
Alright, we got bombs and a couple of C's that should tell us how to fight this guy. This is a pretty cool boss.
Yep.
He's got 4 distinct phases. First one, he just fires rocket arms at us. But you hit him, they fly back, so we need to hit him with his own arms.
So Zelda's got a thing for floating heads with arms bosses.
Pretty much Nintendo as a whole, but yeah.
You're right, yeah. We see a lot of them in Zelda, though. There's the Bongo boss. Isn't there one in Wind Waker?
Yeah, the Guardian of the Temple of Time?
Or it's that tall tower in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, the tall tower. Now, his second phase, he's just gonna randomly punch nothing. So why don't I add something in between it, like a bomb?
He's trying to crush you, but he's blind. I'm gonna get you eventually. Oh.
I kind of need to kite him up to the upper side of the room, because otherwise I can't get a bomb in between his hands.
Right, and if you're off by half a tile, he won't crush it somehow.
We do have grass on both sides of the arena, if we need to refill anything. Up next, instead of arms, he's got shields, so I can't attack him from the front. Can't even attack him from the side. But I can attack him from the back.
Time for some bank shots!
He pinched me.
Is that the only hit he gets on you?
Pretty much. And this is the last one.
I like this one.
He's basically got Wrecking Ball boxing gloves. Sometimes he'll fire both arms, but when he only fires one, grab the other arm, pull it back, and smack him with it.
Right, and if you actually keep going up to grab it, you can kind of catch him in a loop of he'll keep trying to punch you with the other arm, and you can keep grabbing the one that's back.
It was right at that moment I thought, maybe I should try, but then he moved.
Stop hitting yourself! Stop hitting yourself! Ah.
And he's down.
There we go. We've gotten all the bosses done. We've gotten the final essence, which is a star? Okay.
Well, I mean, when you look out in the night sky, a lot of those stars are dead.
It acts as a guide to the other essences, but you've gotten them all already, so do we need a guide?
And if your guide is falling, that's a pretty bad guide.
Oh, there it is. Oh, it's gone. You ever try to navigate by shooting stars? You wait forever for one. Oh boy, we're gonna get something cool. I'll wait for you no matter how long, or at least 400 years. Wow, what hurt you?
Like 10 minutes of recording?
Such pain. Were you... Jeez.
Well, it occurred to me that there were these statues around here.
Yeah.
Aha, one of them was hiding a ring.
That's a pretty good ring right there.
And also, you remember this from when we finished Jabu Jabu.
That's right.
Now we can check out what's underneath one of these. Because there is only one thing under one of them. I got a ring and a concussion.
Oh boy, I can't wait.
Like my beard.
The town has run amok. Doesn't look like it.
Nah.
It seems kind of peaceful still.
Some of the NPCs are just in different places, that's about it.
Yeah. Shit's gone whack! Oh yeah, he gives you a ring if you kill a bunch of stuff. I forgot about that.
It's sort of like the friendship ring, I don't think it does anything.
Nah.
Just bragging rights that you're a massive murderer.
Yep. So that's a ring that changes your sprite to a like-like, which, like the Octorok ring, you can't do anything as a like-like, it just changes your sprite. Ooh, that helps you not get zapped by the jellyfish. Electric chews.
And we're well beyond that being useful.
Right. The Whimsical Ring. Ooh.
That's an interesting ring.
Yeah.
Your regular damage gets lower, but occasionally you'll just immediately kill something.
Yeah, it's a weird way to play the game.
It's kind of like the flintlock rifle from the Metal Gear Solid games.
Mm-hmm. So that's the ring you got from under the first statue. That's a good ring to have. It halves all your damage.
That's a really good ring. That's what I'm going to be wearing for the final dungeon.
Yeah, and unlike the other rings, you don't get a drawback on your attack power, which is great.
And it isn't specific, like, it doesn't just reduce damage for eye beams or whatever.
Oh no, Biff! He got better somehow. Was he sick? We missed something.
I think I gave him money.
Oh, that's right, you did.
Pretty sure it showed that.
You paid him a ton of money.
Which was a long time ago, but...
Yeah. So, if you didn't know how Biff's, he ages by the number of gaseous seeds you have planted and collected.
Huh.
So if you want Biff to age all the way to an adult, you have to do a lot of gaseous seed stuff.
Well, speaking of which...
Yeah, why not plant one? We're at the end of the game.
Because there's no way in hell I'm coming back here. Short of what I'm doing here already.
It's kind of a convoluted one to get to anyway.
Speaking of convoluted, there's just this path under the water, and I figure, alright, let's see where this goes.
Yeah, we're under Crescent Island right now.
It's a bit of a maze.
There's a pile of dead drowned Tokay under here. We got lost.
Careful. But at the end of it, we get a cave. Do not fall in. And guess what's inside? If I can open the damn thing.
Hey, a piece of heart. Nice.
So there's one more heart piece that's out in the overworld.
Right.
And then there's the heart piece that Maple has, and one you can get from a gacha tree.
Right. So, if you're not into playing chance, you can't get them all. But if you try, you can get them. That was not worth it.
Welp, you were wondering earlier what had happened to the tree I planted on Crescent Island. It was not worth it.
Yeah, that says it all right there. Ooh, that's a good ring. If you're worried about cracked floors, it is.
That's very situational. There's only a few places with cracked floors.
There it is.
Yep.
That's the one.
The anti-Bomberman ring.
Ooh, that's a good ring. It's one of those that changes your sprites, but it's a cool sprite change. Dive without breathing. So that's a weird descriptor, but all that means is if you dive underwater, you can stay there.
Yeah, you don't resurface automatically. Well, let's check out that other ring.
I can't believe you're still carrying the friendship ring.
Yeah. No, I accidentally put it in. Let's check out that ring. We'll close out the video with it.
Yeah, I actually didn't collect this one in my playthrough, so you're showing off something I did not. Here you go. Look at that! We are first-gen Link. It's too bad you can't use your items, or it would be really cool to play the game this way.
You'd think out of all the transformations, this one would.
Yeah, well, it's all novelty. Whatever.
Oh well.
Too bad you didn't find the tingle ring.
Is there one?
Only in your heart.
Like a clog. Alright, well, next part is the last part. For a lot of this LP, we were talking about the hard pieces, and how the trees and Maple leaves a little too much chance to getting the last two heart pieces.
Right.
Well, I do it anyway. So next time we'll be finishing up the LP, seeing the final dungeon, and getting the last of the heart pieces.
I knew you were going to do 100%.
100%ing something.
Yeah, well, collecting all the rings is kind of a pain.
It's a good enough 100%.
Right. Well, you got all the good rings, though. Or at least most of them.
And since you can only wear one at a time, the half damage ring, that's a good one to close out the LP with.
Right. All right, well, are you a bad enough dude to climb a black tower? Find out next time.